All right, it looks like I am live. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the pound of sugar a day because I've been getting a lot of questions about that, like a lot of questions about that. Yes, I did it. People like ask if I actually did it. Yes, I did it. How did I do it? I added a quarter pound of sugar to my water in the morning, and then I did a smoothie with a quarter pound, and then I did a quarter pound I think in another smoothie, and then I did a quarter pound in whatever I made for dinner that night. So I did that. I forget how many months it was. It was at least a month, if not two. If you go back and watch my videos from about a year ago, I think that's when I did it. I know it was towards the end of when I was doing raw. You can go back and watch the videos. I actually did look better back then. But why I stopped doing it, I did start having gut issues from it, so I had to stop doing it. I think it's because I was using table sugar, and for whatever reason, I have such an issue with table sugar. It just starts upsetting my gut. So, if I ever did it again, I would switch over to the organic style or like the Florida crystals, and I would try it again. I'm considering trying it again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it just so happened that when I was doing this, I had a blood test before it for my endocrinologist, and I had a blood test afterwards, and it doubled my testosterone in that amount of time. Now I'd have to. I made a video about this. You could go watch that video that I did. Um, it's like a turquoise color with durian rider on it, and I forget what the name of the video is, but I did actually make a video of it. I kind of show my test results and everything. So anyway, a lot of people have been asking me about the pound of sugar a day. It really wasn't that big of a deal. It's amazing how much better the sleep can be. That was one benefit that I noticed. But the one main benefit that I really noticed was that's when a lot of people were coming onto my videos and saying, "Damn, you're really like, well, I can really see a change." So it does work. I certainly didn't gain weight. I was still in the 260s at that time. I don't know what I'm at now. I know I'm not in the 290s. I'm probably not in the 280s. I'm probably in the 270s right now. I'm having a lot of problems with my foot, so I haven't really been. I tried to ride today, but then it started downpouring, so I had to stop. Hopefully, I can ride again tomorrow. I do like to have activity because I notice if you're like I do a lot of DoorDash, so I'm in and out of the car walking and stuff like that. But I do notice that when you have some activity during the day, your digestion, at least my digestion is way better. I have a question. If I only eat rice and fruit and sugar, do I still have to exercise to lose weight, or will the weight come off even if I don't exercise? That is the rice diet, basically the Walter Kempner diet, and he did have his people walking, I think on average 8 miles a day. It might have been less. So I really wouldn't be able to answer. I mean, I guess the best that you can do is just go on it and see what happens. But if you're really going to do a traditional rice diet, he did have his people walking quite a bit, actually, quite a bit. They were known as, I forget what they had a name. If you read the autobiography of his, they had a name. Some of them would walk up to like 15 miles a day. But yeah, but then and some of his people were doing 2,400 calories a day of just food and 2,400 calories a day of sugar on top of that. So it was all over the place. Some people, he had on 800 calories a day, which if you're ever going to do anything like that, be under supervision of a doctor. I think that's a really bad idea. But as far as do you need to exercise to lose weight, you shouldn't. But some people just their digestion gets real sluggish, and they find pretty good benefit with exercise. Not, I mean, I'm just talking like regular walking. So that really depends on the person and where they're at, where their health is at. You'd really want to get your blood test done to see where your hormones are at. Go to an endocrinologist if you can. But there's so many variables. In theory, yeah, you could do it and lose weight and not, especially if you got a lot of weight to lose. The people who have a lot of weight to lose, that's the ones that are going to drop the weight the fastest in the beginning. But at some point, you're going to probably likely have to add some kind of exercise of some kind into that. It is what it is. um, we're so much more sedentary than we used to be. And I think that's causing a lot of issues, especially with all the sitting we're doing, all the staring at the phones we're doing, all this blue light and everything. Sleep's getting screwed up. It's just a hot mess. So, anyway, all right, that's all I had. So, if we got any questions, let's get started. Are we getting what I eat in a day videos from you anymore, or only Instagram? Honestly, it's so boring. The videos are so boring for me. I don't know if I'm ever gonna make one again. What do I eat? I eat the same damn thing almost every day. I get up, I drink water, usually a liter. I eat either dates and go for a ride or a watermelon and chill and then get started with work, or that's really it right now. So if I'm gonna go for a ride, I'll have dates in the morning, and then I go for a ride, and I come back and have watermelon to get my day started. And then I have bananas after that, and then bananas after that, and then dates after that, and then I have whatever kind of starch that I'm gonna have at night. Uh, it's usually been potatoes. I mean, it's gotten pretty insane boring. Hey Ryan, my diet consists of 10 grams of fat found in trace amounts and the carbs I eat. Is this still a high carb? Yeah, 100%. I'm not as anal about the fat as Durian Rider. It's almost impossible to do 10 grams. Okay, then I look forward to more interview videos from you. I am interviewing Brad Marshall. I know he's not vegan, but a lot of people kept bringing him up in conversation. So I'm going to be interviewing him. I think it's on Tuesday. I've reached out to a couple of other people. It's surprising to me how many people who are on Instagram will not do interviews for YouTube. So I guess I'm going to have to start reaching out to more people who are on YouTube. I've just been shocked. Like, they're so shy, but then they've got like this enormous following on Instagram. I don't know. It's kind of been a weird. It's a lot harder than I actually thought it was going to be to interview. Interview Peter Rogers. I'm supposed to get an email back from him. He's actually a like legit doctor right now, so his schedule and mine have not. I'm gonna actually have to email him again because he was supposed to get back to me after Memorial Day. I was gonna be in. I'm. It looks like I'm gonna interview Peter Rogers. I don't like to give any guarantees because schedules just are so hard to line up sometimes. But he works at a hospital, I guess, and he actually has a schedule that he has to have with them. So I have to work around that. I actually really want to interview him because he has some contradictory information on his channel, and I want to get some of it cleared up. Hello from Belgium. Hello. I put a ton of sauces on my rice. They are all fat free, so that's not fat, right? Yeah, no, you're good. Some of these sauces have some really garbage stuff in them, so I would watch out for that. I mean, just some really not great stuff in it, especially the food colorings. I try to stay away from food coloring. Did you gain weight from adding a pound of sugar? No, that's you might not have been here. No, I didn't gain weight at all. When this was done with mice and humans and studies, there was no weight gain. No, I didn't. I lost weight actually. Um, I don't want to bore people who are here at the beginning of the video, but if you go back and watch the whole thing, I talk about it. Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't gain weight. I actually lost weight. I was looking probably the best I've looked in years actually. He is against sugar in general. Peter Rogers. Yeah, all these doctors are. And like pasta has little fat, but I think Durian Rider says you can eat unlimited pasta. Yeah, I wouldn't stop eating pasta, especially if you have no issues with it. Main problem with sauce is the salt. All right, so the salt thing, I'm like 50, I'm not even on 50-50 on. I'm on like use whatever you can handle type situation. If you think that you've gained a ton of weight after eating something, maybe drop the salt and see what happens. Some people, the salt really makes them gain weight, and some it just goes right through. I'm drinking diet soda to get rid of them because I don't want to throw them away. Am I messing up my diet? Well, the aspartame, or whatever is that's in diet, turns the formaldehyde in your body when it mixes with the chemistry of our body, which is formaldehyde is what they use to embalm bodies. So if you don't mind having that in you, um, then drink it. The stuff in my mind isn't even worth the trash. No, but you're messing up your teeth using use a straw. Eh, I don't know. Does sugar really cause cavities? I just don't buy it. I haven't been to a doctor or a dentist since 2002, I think. 2002. I mean, I still got my teeth. With all due respect, why are you 260 pounds if you only eat fruit and starch? Well, I lifted for years, so my natural body weight is probably 225. And as I've talked about in my videos, my hormone issue is always been a problem. I have a 2.4 millimeter nodule on my pituitary gland. So I have a hard time really getting my hormones in check. If your hormones aren't in check, there's three people that actually have this exact same thing in my family, and all of us uh, kind of struggle with it. No, I'm never going to do a juice fast. And I don't, the thing is, right? I perform better than most people at my size that are half my size. So I'm really not worried about it. My libido's fine, everything's fine. Uh I'm not really going to worry about it. I'm not going to do the stupid ass juice fast and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it would help me. I really don't care. There's just certain lengths of going the distance that I'm not going to do. And I just don't care. Can I eat as many Sour Patch Kids as I want? Go for it. I know they mess up my gut. I can't eat too many of them. Candy has nasty food colorings because not in all countries. So like the US is like one of the only countries that allows a lot of these food colorings. How long do you see yourself living? Probably until I'm dead. Do you still have coma after eating sugar? No, not at all. But it does help you sleep, which is really weird. Yeah, no, I don't get a coma at all. I don't drink caffeine. I don't have caffeine ever. I mean, I've been up for 13 hours now and I'm still going just fine. I don't have any issues. Is there any fat-free bread? Not really. Um, but I really wouldn't worry about it to that extent, especially if it doesn't have oil in it. I get a coma after a fat meal. I feel lightheaded and sick. Yeah, the fat. When you think about Thanksgiving dinner, I mean, think about how much fat there is in that if you're in America. And that has got to be what knocks you out. Nothing has zero fat except pure sugar. Yeah, I can't think of anything that would have, you know, especially breads, because when you're proofing bread, you've got to have it so it doesn't stick to the side of whatever you're proofing it in. And I don't know how you would get around not using oil, like a spray on that. So if I only eat rice and fruit and sugar, how long will it take for me to lose my 50 pounds? That's up to your body of extra fat that I'm trying to get rid of. There's no timetable for this. You know, some people it comes right off. Some people it takes forever. For me, I've already been down to 220. I'm actually going to be doing a video about this probably maybe tomorrow, hopefully, about cortisol and you know, insulin resistance. I don't have a coma at all. No. I don't think anybody should have a coma, you know, after eating. But as far as how long it's gonna take you, I mean, that's your body. I mean, Freely is one she took it took her 4 years to lose 40 pounds. Truly telling yourself, "I am losing weight," will make you lose weight. Positive self-talk and love actually works. It does work, and, you know, people who think about how fat they are all the time stay fat. You know, it's weird. I've never actually had an issue. I've used what I'm talking about in these videos before. Before I was on social media, I didn't even get it took me a long time to get on social media until 2018 I wasn't on because I didn't trust it. I always thought it was a tracking thing. And I still do. And I had no issues whatsoever. It's just this time for whatever reason, I think it's like the constantly talking about weight that's really screwed me up. Adding sugar to my smoothies and juice definitely raises testosterone. My acne has gotten worse and my libido is crazy. Acne's gotten worse. Are you adding oil? That's bizarre. That's strange. It usually it shouldn't do that. Unless you're in a huge detox. How is juice fast bad for you if you're getting enough calories? It makes no sense for you to not try it. I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm not going to do it. It's it's expensive as hell. B, it creates. You can see these people. It creates like these massive eating disorders. They use it to lose weight. They get on it. They're and it just becomes this adrenaline junkie type situation. I'm not going to do it. Freely's all fruit diet would be very difficult for most people. It would. That's why they added the starch. I've noticed if I eat high amount of candy doing high carb, low carb, high fat, I will get acne. Yeah. If you're doing high fat, yeah. Nope, no oil. I could be detoxing, but my acne has been terrible since I was 12. That's really weird. I've never heard of anybody who drops like protein and fat to not get rid of the acne. Do mucusless fruit and sweet. Here's the thing. I'm gonna do what I'm doing. It'll work eventually. I'm not rushing it. I don't like sweet potatoes. I'm not doing stuff that I don't like to do. If I gotta go all raw, fine. Like I said so many times now, I really wish I wouldn't have started this as a weight loss channel. Just like to get a message out there about high carb, low fat. I've lost 145 pounds. Most people don't even weigh 145 pounds. So it's not as if I haven't lost a wee bit of weight. You know, the rest will come off when it comes off. I have no issues with women coming after me. I have no issues in the bedroom. That's all I really care about. Like the rest is whatever. Whatever happens, whatever happens. Is oat milk and almond milk okay? Yeah, it's fine. I'd rather make it myself. Oat milk and almond milk, they do put a lot of that. I think it's called rapeseed oil or whatever. So you might want to watch out for that. Have you ever watched any of the vegan films? I have. What was it called? Fat Secondarily Dead. I don't think I've seen any of the other ones. Oh, Forks Over Knives. I might have seen some of it. There's nothing right or wrong with what apparently seems to be happening. I don't know what that means. Only mucusless cooked starch is sweet potato. Yeah, basically. But you know, if you read it, he says that potatoes are not far off from you know, regular sweet potatoes. I can't stand sweet potatoes. I prefer rice over potatoes. I don't mind some baked fries here and there, but I can't eat only potatoes. I wouldn't want to do it either. I wouldn't. I actually prefer rice over it too. My body's ability to not stress out about I'm gonna be doing a video about this week. To not stress out is the problem that I actually face. You should make a video about making oat milk. Uh, I could. It'd probably be one of the shorts. It's not really that hard of a process. I go back actually, I don't have a nut milk bag right now, and they're like 80 bucks. I go back and forth on during Rider. A part of me thinks the guy does meth. Laugh out loud. Hmm. I would think that he would disclose it just because of the way he is. Rice is good, but tastes at the same time, I don't think everybody is going to benefit from his diet. I, I think you might have to tweak it some. Rice is good. I mean, but the ratios are great, but I don't think the fat has to be as low as he says it is because it starts to stress you out. And it stresses worse than now, I'm not saying to eat like 80 grams of fat a day, but like if you look at it 80-10-10, like the Doug Graham thing, that's 10% fat, 10% protein, 8% carbs. I think that's a lot easier to handle. Rice is good, but tastes like I'm eating air if there's no sauce. Get a rice cooker, maybe. I actually really like your short about going to your cousin's house in the oil. I laughed hard. Yeah, I really want to make more of those, and it doesn't really actually take that long. It's a lot of fun. I started high carb, low fat since 7 days, and I love it. But after a big smoothie, a banana, a jewel, or something very sweet, I always went to sleep. I don't know why. That's typically your body adjusting to it, or maybe you can't handle it at this point. So maybe back off that and just maybe eat the bananas. The fat that's on my body now, will it stay on me if I eat unlimited rice and don't exercise? Because maybe my body will just burn the rice calorie, and that's just not how the body works. The body does not work like that. It's like a car. It's like a car burns more oxygen than it does gas. But just because oxygen's out there doesn't mean it's just going to start burning only that and just leave the gas in the tank. It just does not operate like that. The body is not retarded, but people like to think the body's stupid, but it's not. Freely doesn't even like sugar that much anymore. It seems like she just promote all fruit. Well, here's the thing: when you're as wealthy or well off as she is, of course you can just eat all fruit. But, if you see how she critiques people. I mean, she does talk about potatoes quite a bit, and she was never really all that into the rice. She was always into the potato. She used to say, "Go fruit or root yourself." She was Durian Rider was more into the rice, and the reason he was into the rice, and kind of reason other people are into the rice, is you have to eat a lot of potatoes to get what you need out of them. Especially if you have any kind of activity in your day. I've worked out 2 times a day for months at a time. I've personally noticed I get my leanest with lots of walking over hard workouts. Your cortisol is gonna raise so hard from that 2 times a day that you're gonna be fighting it the entire time. With walking, it lowers cortisol. It lowers all that, the blood pressure and everything in your body. So it actually works because we're actually built to walk. Like, we're, like, born to walk. I don't know if we're born to run, but we're born to walk. And it really is the most beneficial thing you can do. I don't know why somebody wouldn't want to exercise. I don't understand that, or like walk, especially if you can. It drives me nuts because I'm somebody with this crazy ass foot of mine, which I don't feel like going into detail here. I would love to be able to just walk however much I wanted to, but I just really can't. And, walking is so much better. We're not meant to be stuck in a gym lifting ergonomic weights. We're not supposed to do any of this kind of stuff. Now, I have considered creating a channel in the fall of me doing weights again, but I'm not making any promises on that. But I don't even think it would be on this channel. I think it would be on a separate channel. Potatoes go bad compared to rice, and it costs more. Yeah. Um, but I mean, it does take a while for them to go bad. Getting enough calories from potatoes isn't hard. They just make me feel so. All right, you know what? You disagree with everything everybody says. I don't even know why you bother. How many steps are you getting per day? I have no idea. No idea. I don't count it. I don't even, I really don't have the phone on me that often either. So I have no idea. I'm at 5,000 steps for today, but I keep this thing on me as little as possible. I naturally walk about 4,000 steps a day without trying. When I was at the post office, I averaged walking 12 to 15 miles a day. Um, so there was that. I get around 10K. I think that's okay, but maybe too much because I'm trying to gain weight. Yes, walking, if you walk a lot, you are going to probably struggle gaining weight. That is when might want to add more fat into the diet. Walking is probably the most effective tool that I've ever seen. I naturally walk 4,001 steps a day without trying. Like I said, I'm at 49, well, almost five. I'm like 2 steps under 5,000 for the day. I'm sure I'm over 5,000. On days that I walked it, the 10K mark is actually something. So, what are they called? Pedometers? I think they're called pedometers. There was a Japanese company, I think it was 80s, it might have been actually the 70s, and they created this little thing that you would clip onto your belt, and they just created an arbitrary number of 10,000 steps. They had absolutely no basis on anything. They said that you'd be healthy if you walk 10,000 steps by our little thing that you clip to your belt, and you'll know, right? They have, as much as I'm not into the studies, they have done studies actually about this. It was all women though; it didn't test men. But they tested, unless it did have men, but men. The only part that I really remember is the women's part. The benefit of walking stopped at 7,000 steps. There really was no more benefit between 7 and 10,000 steps. If that helps anybody out, I don't know why. I know they were testing the two different sexes, and the only one that I really remember sticking out was the female. But they said that after 7,000 steps, you're really not getting much more benefit than at the 7,000 mark. Is it possible to overeat rice and fruit to where you will gain weight or not lose weight? It could be, yes, especially with the rice. If you eat so much that your body can't digest it, you'll start getting constipated. That's the thing to really get your body to a regeneration standpoint. You got to eliminate what you're taking in, and that is really what you got to watch. If you got the good elimination, then the weight will start coming off. I would imagine probably most of us have 30, 40 pounds of undigested in the gut. That's my biggest issue. My digestion is so sluggish because of my inability to walk as much as I would like to, and many other things. If I do the Puridyne cleanse, I guarantee I'll lose like 25 pounds because my gut just does not like dumping anything out. At how many grams of fat do you think would be too much per day? Like over 100 grams if someone wants to gain weight? You would really have to test that one out. I know that's why they test Durian Ryder and Natasha actually tested that out for themselves. I think Natasha took her 40 grams until she started gaining weight, and I think Durian Ryder was a little bit more than that. Is high fructose corn syrup as beneficial as sugar? No, I would rather have sugar. I think most soda has high fructose corn syrup and some juice. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of high fructose corn syrup. I'm not, totally against it, but I would not want to base my diet around it, especially with how GMO and everything it is. If you can find a way to get sugar into it, you can also make your own. Like if you really like fizzy drinks, you can make your own. So get like a mineral water, like a Gerolsteiner, and you just make like a lemon juice, and then you put sugar in the lemon juice, and then you pour that Gerolsteiner in there. You can make your own. Most processed food use high fructose, yeah, because it's cheaper. It is a slight bit cheaper, but actually, if you right now, I don't know how prevalent it is, but when I was doing a grocery thing for DoorDash the other day, the cane sugar Pepsi and the regular Pepsi was the exact same price. So if you're somebody who doesn't really mind caffeine, they were the exact same price. They were $6.99 for a 12 pack, which isn't the great. I mean, they used to be $3 a 12 pack just a couple years ago. But they were the exact same price. So if you really want, I would prefer the cane sugar. It actually tastes better in my mind. So that, you know, it is what it is. I'm eating like this for a couple of weeks and I haven't lost any pounds. The scale stays the same. Yeah, well, it can happen. It's really all about getting your hormones re-regulated. I followed during rider protocol so far, blown up from 160 to 230 in a year, hoping the weight comes down back down. It shouldn't last that long. That's kind of that's kind of an extreme. Dude, Bill, what are your macros? You're probably gonna want to change something up. Maybe more fruit. Can you find white sugar in nature outside sugar cane? Well, sugar cane's where it comes from, so probably not. Can you find half the stuff that we eat in nature? You wouldn't be able to find the bananas that we eat in nature. You wouldn't be able to find pineapples in nature. You wouldn't be able to find the watermelons that we eat these days in nature. You wouldn't be able to find the grapes we eat in nature. I mean, majority of what we eat, you wouldn't be able to find in nature because it didn't grow there. It's all hybrids of something. And if you grow your own watermelon, which I have, it tastes so much better than the watermelon that you're gonna get at the store because it has so much more sugar in it. So, um, Durian Rider drinks regular Sprite, so did Freely back in the day. It did taste better back in the day, but yeah, he did, for sure. But that's when they were in Thailand. I had calorie restricted for a fair while prior. I will take your advice and eat more fruit. If you're stuck like that, I mean, chances are you're not eliminating anything. I would switch over to fruit, a lot more fruit. Especially if you can find fruit that you actually like to eat, not blend. I would think that you would like right now it's watermelon season. Like just eat as many watermelon, bananas, and stuff as you can. The less you can blend things, I find the better. Because 70 pounds in a year, something seems wrong with that. The watermelon here are insane at the moment. They were insane at the moment here, but this last week they have been terrible. So I don't know. I'm trying to find better watermelon. I really wish I had the room to grow them here, but I just don't. They were insane actually from the early part of the season up until last week. Do you have mucus after eating potatoes? I do. Yeah, I do sometimes. Yeah, this is the thing. Like if you have that, then you know, fruit is ideal. Fruit is the most ideal, which is why Freely is the one that preaches about this. But it's really hard to sustain. If calories are calories, could I technically gain weight if I chugged more juice down? Because I could definitely try that. I don't see this is the thing. I don't buy into the calories are calories at all. It just does not make any sense. Especially fat calories are almost 2.5 times what the calories are from carbs. I don't want to gain weight. I want to look like Freely. Well, it took Freely 4 years to look like Freely. And she did gain weight in the beginning. So I don't know what else to say about it. Your hormones and everything might be really off. You got to go get a test. So you got to look into that. But Freely took a long time. If you go from eating 2,000 calories of fruit and rice, if you go It's not finished. And then eat 4,000 calories of fruit and rice. You're going to put on size. Not necessarily. I don't really buy into that at all. I mean, when I was doing raw only, I was eating 8,000 calories a day. I was the weight was falling off so fast I had to add 4 or 5 avocados in a day. But it shouldn't be becoming like obese. I don't really buy into that. I don't. I don't buy into this calories thing. The problem is, it just when I have Brad Marshall on here, hopefully he can explain it better. And Georgie did a pretty good job of it. The calorie thing just does not make sense. The problem is I can't physically eat that much volume. It's hard. That's why I was wondering if juice would do the trick. No, I mean honestly, if you add this stuff, you actually might get skinnier because the calories are coming from carbohydrates. I really wish you would have typed this all in one thing because now it's not making sense. David, you want to be big, then why do this diet? Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want to add weight, well, McDougall's trying to do the same thing right now, and it's not working for him at all. I know he said he added at least 1,200 calories of almonds a day, and you can see from his videos that it ain't working. I've known other people, who are on this, I mean, diet, especially if you got your hormones in a really good spot. It's really going to be a struggle, real struggle to gain weight because I hate cooking and I'm a cheapskate. Also, I want to stay vegan. It makes me feel good. Well, I mean, Durian Ryder and Tasha were able to gain weight, but I think they were eating those vegan ice creams. I think that's how they did it. You could ask him. You can go on his channel and ask him. He might answer you, especially if you get early. Like if he posts a video and you're like the first one to ask a question, he'll usually answer it. He won't respond to it, but he'll at least answer the first initial. So, yeah, I I'm certainly not. I guess I am an expert on gaining because I've done it pretty well. But I've also lost so much weight over the years; it's ridiculous. But I can attest to the fact that hormones are the reason that you gain or lose weight. It's I really the calories thing. David, processed vegan foods are super fattening. Yeah, a lot of them can be. But that one I would really watch out for. If you really look at some of those ingredients, they are not very good. As I'm gonna, I'd almost venture to guess that some of the processed vegan stuff is worse for you than what it's trying to replace on the animal end. I mean, especially some of these Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers and stuff like that. That stuff. Mm-mm. I try to stay away from it as much as humanly possible. Because I've actually had people on this channel over the years say that the more carbs they add, the more weight that they just lose. It like just I was actually just talking to somebody about that today. I went from 79 kg to around 88 kg from eating up the oatmeal until I was going through a 1K bag every 3 to 4. That I can see. It's higher in fat than the average starch, and it's very hard to eliminate. So I can see that one. But if you're a fruit, if you're going to add 4,000 calories of fruit, I just don't see how that's going to add weight at all. I don't eat processed. I mean, there's, that what is that, 9 kg? So it's like almost 20 pounds. I can actually see that, especially if you added more salt in. Oatmeal for a lot of people is very hard to digest. So that might be just sitting in your gut somewhere. I don't eat processed vegan food. It really depends on what carbs you add. Because, I know oatmeal doesn't have a ton of fat in it, but it is extremely hard to digest. And it's like just glue in your stomach. So, it's going to start adding more weight. I don't eat processed vegan food. It's expensive. My diet right now is juice, bananas, dates, some rice if I feel like cooking, and spinach in smoothies. I mean, I don't see how you're going to add weight with that. Go the fruit kid way and just add oatmeal. Also tofu. Some people like it, some people don't. Oatmeal makes me gain no weight at all. Why is it different than any other starch? I don't know. Why do you always come in here and say everybody's wrong? Oatmeal is high is a higher fat starch. Yeah, it is. But he seems to think that everything is revolves around him. But the higher fat starch is going to be harder to break down, and you are going to gain weight on that. But if you're going to try to live on fruit and rice, um, it's just that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. I mean, look at the Asian people. Like a lot of the Asian people I know, at least here, they really, I mean, they eat a lot, and they are rail thin, a lot. I used to belong to this Japanese club downtown, um, and I could not believe how much those guys ate, and they were so tiny. They were so tiny, and it was just like they were so smart too. Compared to potatoes, it is. Yeah, there's no point in bothering. But yeah. So anyway, if you're trying to gain weight, you're really going to have to add some kind of fat into that. That's actually why I added avocados back in the day because I wanted to slow my weight loss because I didn't want all the extra skin. And actually, it really didn't do that much, if I remember correctly, because the weight was still coming off like crazy. Raw food, there's something about raw food. So if you want to gain weight, I would think the easiest way to do it is to add in cooked food. But I do know some people who have, like, look at Chef AJ. She was living on raw food, but it was all the real high fat stuff, and she couldn't get the weight off. But now she's kind of like starvation nation. So it's really about adding fat back in, and if your testosterone's high, I think you were the one that said that your hormones are really like crazy. It's going to be very, very, very hard for you to lose weight, like very hard for you to lose weight or gain weight. I mean, gaining weight when your hormones are at like really peak or like higher than peak, it's really hard to gain weight. Unless you're on some kind of anabolics and you're, lifting real crazy. Potatoes are 1% fat. That might be too little fat if you ate nothing but potatoes for a very long time. It has nothing to do with eating 2.2 pounds of oats a day. Absolutely nothing. And oats are fairly high in fat for starch. I think they're actually one of the highest. All right, I'll get on anabolics. Just kidding. Why not? Of course, if you got acne problems now, just go on anabolics, see how much worse it's going to get. That stuff. That's some of the acne I've seen from dudes that are on anabolics is like, ugh, that is gross. I mean, their entire body's taken over by it. All right, I gotta start making dinner here soon, so I think I'm gonna close this down around 45 minutes. Any more questions, comments? Nada. Yeah. So anyway, to the person looking to lose weight, fruit is definitely best way to go, and it also uses the least amount of insulin to process. Why do you see someone who is tiny eating 1,500 calories? Anybody could starve themselves. Anybody could starve themselves. I've seen that guy back knee, yeah, more plates, more dates channel. It's terrible. And then another who is equally as tiny, eating 2,500 calories. What's for dinner? Just pasta tonight. It's because I'm doing this. It's already what 8 o'clock, and I try to actually eat dinner by 8 o'clock, but it's just these nights, these Tuesdays, it just doesn't happen. And then who is equally as tiny at 2,500 pounds. It's or 2,500 calories. If everybody wants to talk about freely, her bare minimum calories is 2,100 calories. for somebody to follow. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I think I'm going to get heading out of here. Thanks for watching. I think I'll be on here on Friday, and unless my schedule changes. And that's about it. So I will talk to you next time. Peace.